France faces fresh political drama as President Emmanuel Macron names his fourth prime minister in under a year. Sébastien Lecornu, the former defense minister and a trusted ally, has taken over after François Bayrou's fall. At 39, Lecornu inherits an unstable political landscape, rising public anger, and a fractured legislature. Now, more than ever, the tension between reform and disorder defines Macron's fragile grip on power. We re-examine the implosion of Bayrou's government, the gamble that cost him the premiership, and the steep challenges ahead for this new administration. Lecornu, one of Macron's closest confidants, is seen as a loyal soldier of the president, but also faces daunting challenges from day one. He must navigate France's ballooning public debt, hostile opposition parties in a fragmented parliament, and widespread protests against austerity and reforms. As defense minister, Lecornu gained a reputation for discipline and crisis management, but running a government battered by repeated collapses is a far more precarious task. Many wonder if he will be able to survive longer than his predecessors, or if he will simply become another casualty of France's political deadlock. Legislators toppled France's government in a confidence vote on Monday, a stunning development that has plunged the country into renewed political crisis. Prime Minister François Bayrou was ousted overwhelmingly in a 364 to 194 vote. Bayrou had staked his government's survival on persuading lawmakers that France must slash public spending to rein in ballooning debts. Instead, lawmakers seized the chance to band together and remove the 74-year-old centrist. Now, under the French Constitution, Bayrou's minority government must submit its resignation after not even 9 months in office. The fall of yet another prime minister signals renewed uncertainty and the risk of prolonged legislative deadlock, even as France grapples with urgent domestic and international challenges. Bayrou had already announced in August that he would seek a confidence vote on his unpopular budget plans. Yet, even with 2 weeks to prepare, the president has no clear front-runner for Bayrou's replacement. This is the third prime minister in less than a year to fall. Gabriel Attal resigned in September 2024. Former Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier was ousted by Parliament in December, and now François Bayrou has joined their ranks. His office has confirmed that Bayrou's resignation will be formally accepted on Tuesday, with a new prime minister to be named in the coming days. While Macron retains sweeping presidential powers over foreign policy, his domestic agenda is faltering. The root of this paralysis lies in Macron's own gamble. His decision in June 2024 to dissolve the National Assembly and call fresh legislative elections. The strategy backfired spectacularly, leaving France with its first truly fragmented legislature of the modern republic. No party commands a majority. The result? Macron's minority governments have lurched from one crisis to another, living at the mercy of both the left and the far right, parties that cannot govern alone but can, when united, bring down the president's prime minister. From the sidelines, Macron's rivals saw an opening. Far-right leader Marine Le Pen demanded that Macron once again dissolve the assembly, confident that her National Rally Party could win a majority in snap elections and form a government. A big country like France cannot live with a paper government, especially in a tormented and dangerous world, Le Pen declared. In a last attempt to cling to office, Bayrou doubled down on his message of fiscal urgency. He painted a stark picture of France's future, warning that without drastic cuts, the nation risked becoming hostage to its creditors. He had proposed 44 billion euros in spending cuts in 2026 after France's deficit hit 5.8% of GDP last year, far above the European Union's official target of 3%. At the end of the first quarter of 2025, France's public debt stood at 3.346 trillion euros, or 114% of GDP. Debt servicing alone accounts for 7% of state spending. And so France finds itself at another crossroads. A prime minister humbled, a president weakened, an assembly fractured, and a nation staring down a mountain of debt, even as threats mount abroad. For Emmanuel Macron, the road to 2027 is narrowing, and his power at home continues to fade. For France, the Fifth Republic endures, but its political foundations tremble with every toppled government. The question now, who will step up to lead a nation in crisis? And for how long? And now, with Sébastien Lecornu at the helm, France enters its next act of political uncertainty. Tasked with forging a majority from a fractured parliament, managing secretive block-everything protests, and wrestling with a ballooning deficit, Lecornu must navigate his way with urgency and creativity. For Macron, this appointment is a calculated bid to salvage his reform agenda by relying on a loyalist he believes can deliver. But with social unrest rising and trust in institutions eroding, the Fifth Republic feels like a house of cards. The real question looms large. Will Lecornu stabilize a nation on the brink, or become the next name in a long list of French prime ministers brought down by political survival?